Some years ago, when I attended my first Vibrant Gujarat meeting, I could not help but publicly say that if you were not in Gujarat, you were stupid. And some years later, with great satisfaction, one got to believe that you were indeed stupid if you were not here, because this was one of the fastest growing states. It had the vision and the tremendous execution zeal of Mr. Modi, who built this state into not just a progressive state in India, but a state that when you went abroad, people talked of Gujarat and India almost in the same breath. Subsequently, I had the fortune or good luck of moving our car factory to Gujarat. And soon, again with the leadership of Mr. Modi, Gujarat has become one of the hubs of car manufacturing in India. So I can only say that Mr. Modi's vision, executed and carried out by future prime ministers, future chief ministers, have continued the leadership to make Gujarat one of the leading states in the country. And today, as India approaches the new era that Mr. Modi is leading, Gujarat will be one of the leading states in the country, which ushers in the new India to the world. The digital India, the India for defense and aerospace, of mining, intellectual leadership, and I am extremely proud to be here today. With permission of the Chief Minister, I'd like to say that હું બી ગુજરાતી છું અને આપણે પાછા ગુજરાતમાં આવ્યા છે. Thank you very much and good luck to Gujarat, and thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, for your leadership.
We now invite Mr. Peter Huntsman, CEO, Huntsman Corporation, US.
In a time when there is little certainty in global leadership, we find it here in India. In a time when there is courage that is lacking and many decisions that are made around the world, we find it here in India. And at a time when leadership seems to be at a low, we find it in Prime Minister Modi. Mr. Prime Minister, you visited our country this last June. There are many of us who wish you would have stayed and taken over the leadership of our country. Perhaps this would have been the greatest of India's exports. We add our voice to those others that have been spoken of today in support of the changing conditions that we see and the improving conditions that we see in India. Huntsman employs nearly 3,000 people in India. About half of them are in Gujarat. Every Boeing 787 that is flying today has raw materials that is coming from Gujarat. Every Airbus A350 has component and composite materials coming from Gujarat. The most environmentally friendly textile dyes and chemicals used in the world that are transforming and cleaning an industry come from Gujarat. But perhaps the greatest product at all that comes from Gujarat and comes from India is the talent, the creativity, and the integrity of the people that we have an opportunity to work with. Nearly 30 years ago, my father brought me to this great country, and we met with one of his very dear friends, Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani. At the time, he had two very handsome young sons. My father had 6 sons, and he told us all, "You follow the Ambani boys wherever they go." So I have an opportunity to sit here with them today.
We now invite Mr. Mukesh Ambani, Chairman, Reliance Industries Limited.
Most respected Pradhan Mantri ji, history will record you as a great transformative leader. You first transformed Gujarat. You are now transforming India with a series of historic and visionary initiatives. No leader in the world has changed the mindset and behavior of so many people in such a short time. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Make in India, Digital India, Skill India, Startup India are initiatives that have galvanized all Indians. These initiatives have won the respect for India in the world. And no wonder this has resulted in India receiving its highest ever foreign direct investment in its history in recent times. Digital India and your other initiatives will make India one of the strongest and the most prosperous nations in the world. On behalf of industry, I take this opportunity to reaffirm our fullest support to realizing your vision and aspiration for India and Indians.
We now invite Mr. John Chambers, Chairman, Cisco, US.
Good afternoon. Prime Minister Modi, it is an honor to be here, distinguished guests and many friends. Over the last 25 years, and that's how long I've been involved in leadership at Cisco, and over the last year as chairman of the U.S.-India Business Council, where we have 100 other companies here today, I've watched a country change. Your markets opened up, your life expectancy doubled, and your income went up over 4x. However, what I think most people do not grasp is what has happened in the last 2.5 years. In the last 2.5 years, you as a country, and Gujarat has led the way, have led the foundation for India not being the fastest moving emerging nation, but the one that will be the example for both the emerging and the developing world. I have the honor to look at almost every major country in the world, and my friends today from Portugal and Rwanda and others, and there is no country in the world that has a better plan for the future than India. You have the imagination of catching market transitions. And you have, in Prime Minister Modi, in my opinion, one of the top 3 leaders I've met in my life, and I've met all the leaders in the world. 2 years ago, if somebody would have stood up on this stage and talked to you about a digital India, a Make in India, a Skills India, a Startup India, smart cities, smart states, you would have looked at them and said, "What are you talking about?" And yet today, it almost rolls off the tongue of each of our speakers. That's what leadership is about.
We are honored to invite Honorable Prime Minister of Serbia, Mr. Aleksandar Vučić.
And Serbia's government, with great results, with a very low inflation rate, with a good growth rate. Then I noticed that Prime Minister Modi got the very best results almost in the world, and I'm a bit ashamed I'm not going to mention even our numbers. And congratulations, Prime Minister Modi, to you and to your country on a very great numbers. And I'll do my best to keep on reminding you that you promised me today morning that you're going to visit Serbia, and we are waiting for you in Serbia. We'll be waiting for you, and we'll be hosting you in the best possible way. Wish you all the best, and Serbia will always be a reliable partner to India. Thank you very much.